What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and I understand how hard you work for your money because I know how hard I work for mine. So whenever I decide to spend it in the Pokemon space, I do an obnoxious amount of research behind the scenes. It's just important to me when I lay my head down at night, whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, because trust me, I am wrong all the time. But whenever I lay my head down at night, I feel very good knowing that even if the decision I made wasn't the right one, at least I did a ton of research. And that's why I started doing this video every single month where I share with you where I'm spending my money, and I share with you, most importantly, the why behind it. There's a lot of reasons why I choose particular sets or cards or products, and I think it's really cool to share that with you all. Again, doesn't mean we're always right, no, but we have a pretty darn good track record here on the channel. So I think one of the most important things to call out, and this is going to have a big impact, I believe, far beyond Prismatic Evolutions, is this announcement that the Pokemon Company International came out with. They said, listen, we understand we dropped the ball on Prismatic Evolutions. We misforecasted the demand. There are far more people who want it than product we have. So we're going to reprint it. But what I really latched onto into this statement was just this little line right here. It says, we're actively working to print more of the impacted Pokemon TCG products as quickly as possible and at maximum capacity. So in my mind, what I think and what happened the last time the Pokemon Company International back in 2021 went through a similar situation is, yes, they've committed to reprinting Prismatic Evolutions, but I also think they're going to reprint, or at least in advance plan to have additional stock of a set like Journey Together. Think about Journey Together. I mean, it is almost impossible to find an MSRP anywhere right now. So in my mind, they're probably putting most of their workforce right now into Prismatic Evolutions. That's the set that's here and now. That's where all the problems are. But I do think that they're also putting a plan in place to make sure all of the Journey Together, which is already sold out, they're going to be able to fulfill some of that because they don't want other people making the sale, right? Like, Pokemon Company is a for-profit company. They are the ones who want to sell the product to you. They don't want you to have to go out and buy it at 2x MSRP from some freaking scalper, right? They want to make that sale to you. So I promise you, yes, they're working on printing more Prismatic Evolutions, but I also think they're going to work on printing more Journey Together. Why does that matter, and why does that tie into the video, which is around the products that I'm going to be going after in the month of February? Well, that's because I actually am going to be picking up some more of Stellar Crown and some more of Temporal Forces. Now, interesting thing, you might be saying, well, why are you doing that? And in my mind, here's the plan. Like, I think that they, obviously, both of these sets are still in stock at the Pokemon Company here in the US, right? They're still in stock at the Pokemon Center. So the Pokemon Company International is probably looking at this and saying, you know what? These sets are really great, but the high demand set, the Surging Sparks, the Prismatic Evolutions, the Journey Together, the upcoming Glory of Team Rocket, like, those are the sets we really need to focus on. So while I don't think these will be short printed by any stretch of the imagination, my guess is that when they do get printing capacity that frees up, they're not going to be spending it reprinting Stellar Crown and Temporal Forces. What I think they're going to be doing is any excess printing capacity that they're able to come up with is going to be focused on Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions, Journey Together, and in anticipation of whatever Team Up Rocket set we have coming out. So that's what I think. And the reason these are on my list this month is because I think when they sell out, I think the odds of getting these back in stock further down the road is small. Not impossible. Obviously, they could absolutely reprint these at a much later date once the hype has died down. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that these sets, and they have awesome cards, right? Like, I wanted to highlight that. It's not just because they're going to be in short supply. I mean, look at the artwork. Look at this card. I mean, we've seen the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur go absolutely nuts. I snipped these prices, I don't know, about a week ago, and the Bulbasaur and the Squirtle are all the way up at almost $80 right now, okay? And then look at the artwork across the top of Temporal Forces. Raging Bolt, Iron Crown, Walking Wake, Gouging Fire, Ghastly. Like, that set, it lacks a big name Pokemon, but it gives me Chilling Reign vibes in terms of just how awesome the artwork is from left to right. So with all of that being said, that's why I'm so bullish on these cards, and this is why I'm so bullish on these booster boxes, and that's why I want to pick up more while I still can, because as we have seen, I mean, look at any of the Scarlet and Violet era booster boxes. Once they sell out, you know, it's slim pickings finding them at MSRP after that. So that's why these are the first ones on my list, and that's why I'm so excited to go after some of these throughout the course of this month. Now, The next thing I want to talk about is 151 singles cards, and I don't buy a ton of singles cards. I would much rather have, sealed products, which I'm going to hold for the long run, and singles cards I do from more of a collecting standpoint. But, I do this video series where we look at how the top 20 cards from different eras, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, XY, and now Scarlet and Violet, and how they move month over month. And when we did that view, we looked at Scarlet and Violet over the last 2 months. And obviously, as you can see, not almost all of the cards in the top 20 in Scarlet and Violet 151 are up over the last 2 months, okay? It's up 17% in an aggregate. But when you compare that to what the other sets have done over the last 2 months, Scarlet and Violet base, the average of the top 20 singles cards in Scarlet and Violet base over the last 2 months is up 47%. Paldea Evolved up 28%. Obsidian Flames up 37%. Paradox Rift up 20%, right? And it goes on and on and on. And now listen, 151 had a much higher jumping off point, but when I think about how amazing that set is, and when I think about how incredible the artwork is and the demand, people are literally fighting over Blooming Waters collection boxes at Costco. It is absolutely insane. And when you look at these, the set only has one card over $100, and that's that Charizard EX, right? The Sunzard there at the very top. You got the Venusaur, you got the Blastoise, right? Those are in the $80, $85 range. You got that Pikachu, which is still sub $40. And the biggest thing that I take away from this is, remember, the gem rates are absolutely abysmal. This was before Pokemon Company was really able to get the printing quality up, which we saw in all of the sets after 151. So not only do you have one of the most hyped sets from Scarlet and Violet era, you have incredible artwork, some of the biggest names in the Pokemon space, and I just think these cards have a lot of upside to them. So I think the window of opportunity to get these cards is rapidly closing, and so I think I'm going to be picking up some of these throughout the course of this month. It's just been fascinating to see how Scarlet and Violet and the market as a whole has been moving, and some of these cards, like especially that Venusaur and that Blastoise right there, and especially that Pikachu, I feel like are being left behind just a little bit. Now, the next thing we're talking about right here, and I've talked about it before, and that is battle styles, okay? So I had this on my list last month. I said, listen, when we talk about window of opportunity, that is something that I get excited about. And battle styles, I feel like, is one of the final windows of opportunity for the Sword and Shield era at MSRP. Yes, you can still buy battle styles booster boxes at MSRP on the Pokemon Company, or excuse me, on the Pokemon Center website here in the US. Now, on the left, I have a graph of all of the booster box prices at the time of shooting this video. And look which is in last place. Battle styles ranks 12 out of 12 booster boxes from the Sword and Shield era. I mean, it is absolutely wild. You got Rebel Trash coming in at number 9 at $228. You got Darkness Ablaze with a $20 Charizard at the very top, coming in just shy of $200 at $192. Vivid Voltage, right, at $164. Battle Styles market price is $156, but again, if you're fortunate enough to have access to the Pokemon Center website here in the US, you can get it for MSRP at $143.64. And again, I always like to highlight what's in the box outside of just, hey, listen, the window of opportunity is relatively short. You've got the Sleepy T-Tar there at the very top. You've got some other really awesome alt arts. And the other thing that I thought would be important to call out, because Shining Fates followed the same trajectory as Battle Styles back in 2021 when listen, 2021 was a whole different time. That was the middle of the pandemic. People were stuck inside. Like, people were flocking to the Pokemon products everywhere. It was insane, right? Well, what they did to combat that was they started printing, and they printed the heck out of Shining Fates and Battle Styles, hence why Battle Styles is still available on the website and why Shining Fates was available for so long. But Shining Fates has finally been flipped to sold out on the Pokemon Center website here in the US, and look what has happened over the last 3 months. Over the last 3 months, Shining Fates Elite Trainer boxes have gone up 51% over the last 3 months. You have to be out of your freaking gourd if you don't think something very similar is going to happen to Battle Styles booster boxes when they sell out here in the Pokemon Center in the US. Now, are there other places to put your money where you might have bigger bang for your buck? Probably. Is there a safer investment out there right now than Battle Styles booster boxes at MSRP? I absolutely don't think so. So we shall see. Could you put it in other places and probably get a higher yield or a higher return rate? More than likely. But if you're looking for something safe, if you're looking to round out the portfolio, if you're trying to get some Sword and Shield stuff still at MSRP, I think it's hard to find something better than Battle Styles right now. And then The final one on the list, Prismatic Evolutions, even before we knew there was a restock. Matter of fact, even before Prismatic Evolutions was officially released, you know that these two products right here were very high on my chase list. I love that surprise box. We know how much the community loves stamped promos. And the thing about this is you're going to get one of these stamped promos, but you don't know which one. And looking at the way all of these evolutions are going right now, I mean, there's going to be multiples of these in my mind that are probably over the $100 mark. And I think that's going to add a lot of mystique. I think it's going to add a lot of value to these surprise boxes. So I'm a big fan of those. And I think that that is, it's being released, right? There is a little bit of a delayed release for these two products right here. And then the 2-pack blister right there. And the thing I love about it is it's got the Eevee promo in there with the Pokemon Day stamp on it. Again, two products that I think have a very, very high likelihood of, even if it goes through a restock, which it probably will, and a reprint and all of that, I think 5-10 years down the road, I think these are going to be really great products. And I think the market is so feverish, they're going to go ahead and absorb them. However, we all know how murderous it is right now to get anything at MSRP because people are soaking them up left and right. And I have shared with you with this once before, and I'm going to share it one other time. And before I said this, I said, listen, if everybody's going to knife fight over product at MSRP, I want you to bring a sword. But the more I've used this, I'm changing my tune. Instead of bringing a sword to a knife fight, this is like bringing a bazooka. And so this is a company that I've been working with, and it's PokeNotify, and they have this Discord. And I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is absolutely wild. So I get pings all throughout the day about product that's coming in stock in terms of Prismatic Evolutions. So you see it right here. I'm just showing you all of the recent ones. You'll see that some of these tech deck boxes, or excuse me, packages. You'll see some ETBs. You'll see all kinds of different products that are coming in stock, and it gives you the opportunity at least to possibly pick them up at MSRP. And the biggest thing that I like about this is there are moderators who are on this, and when there's a big restock, they'll ping the whole group. It lets you know. Obviously, they're a group that I'm working with, so if you use my promo code, you'll get 25% off. There's also a 3-day free trial, so it's hard to go wrong. So if you're really out there trying to hunt and peck and get product at MSRP, at least until the Pokemon Company International, addresses what needs to be done and produces more product, I think you're hard pressed to find a better service than PokeNotify. So check out the info in the description down below. Doesn't hurt to try a 3-day free trial, because at the end of the day, I want you to get the products that you work. I know how hard you work for your money. I know how hard I work for mine, and I absolutely hate paying over MSRP, and I want you to have every tool you can at your disposal. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an epic one, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Bye.